Hello everyone, and welcome to this very, very celebratory episode of Whisky Wednesday. For those of you that haven't been keeping up, on, I believe it was August the 3rd or the 4th, we finally broke 10,000 followers, which is quite a momentous thing for me. I didn't really think that I'd ever do that. I thought Joe might want the channel back before we can hit that, and then he can do it, and just everything that was going on. Like, I took 6 months off in like the early stage of 2020 because I had no access to filming equipment, isolation, stuff like that, and I just didn't think we'd be able to do it, and to hit that milestone is special. So, to celebrate said special, here is a bottle of whiskey that I bought in 2020 and wanted to open it on a special occasion. Big name. This is the Midleton Very Rare Dair Ghaelach Knockgrath Forest. I believe if we open this rather splendid box, we get this amazing looking thing. I'm going to pull this out. And I will review this whiskey in this review, but this is more just like thanking everyone more than anything. In this box with all of this beautiful scenery on the inside of it, and trees and little woodpeckers and things. At least I think they're woodpeckers. They look like woodpeckers to me. Solid sounding box, that. And in this you get this beautiful kind of pull out, which explains some of the reasons as to why this whiskey has been bottled. It's quite an interesting read. Essentially, it just talks about how licensing oak within Ireland is becoming more sustainable, and Midleton are assisting with that in numerous different ways, which is pretty fun. The staves for this whiskey, they worked and yielded to produce about 42 barrels, and it was tasted every month. So to read this paragraph to you, the oak casks for Dair Ghaelach returned to Midleton from Spain, where they were filled with a specially selected range of 15 to 28-year-old single pot still whiskies that had been previously matured in American oak casks. The Knockgrath casks had actually been taken to Spain to be seasoned in Spain. Not with sherry, just with beautiful Spanish sunlight. Nosed and tasted every month by Billy Layton, and Kevin O'Gorman, who is now the master blender of Midleton. Billy Layton has retired. Keeping a vigilant watch on the liquid, and after 2 years, the Irish oak influence was deemed to have struck the perfect balance with the single pot character. Which I think... Oh no, Brian Nation was the previous guy on Midleton. I'm sorry, correction there. Brian Nation's name used to be on the bottle, and indeed, there it is. But now Kevin O'Gorman's name is on the bottle. Billy Layton is still master blender, I believe, or head distiller, one of the two. 56.3%. 14, I believe they said 14 to 28-year-old single Irish pot stills. Colour. Just incredible. This was a very expensive bottle of whiskey. I think it cost me about £240, and I bought it one night when I couldn't sleep. I just saw it load up onto Master of Malt's website at like 2 in the morning, and I was like, what's that doing there? Is that a sign? I'll buy it. To give you some other specs on this whiskey, obviously there'll be some sort of, if you follow me on Instagram at This Is Whisky Wednesday, there'll be some close-ups of the bottle. But this was tree number 2, it's bottle number 148, and it's batch number 1. Virgin Irish Oak Hogshead cast finish. Incredible colour. Just, you can keep your Macallan 25s. You really can. So while this sits, I poured myself quite a hefty sample there. While this sits and kind of does its thing in the glass, it's just a massive thank you to every single one of you. And that's all this video is. There's a review in it, which is nice, but it's more about all of you. Whether you subscribed and just watched one video because it was the one you were looking for, or whether you've kept up with me every week. If you have with that, that's incredible. I barely keep up with my favourite YouTube channels every week just because of the stresses of life and work and everything else that's going on in the world. So to see the same people commenting on videos and being able to reply to you all and talk to you all is quite wonderful, really. Obviously, a lot of you subscribed during that proper 12 thing. I would like to do another video that had the pull of that, but it's just trying to think what to do. I've had an idea for a while, but it's a better whiskey, and it would be quite a fun video to shoot, but we picked up a lot of subscribers during that for very obvious reasons. The video went viral, that wasn't my intention, but it did end up going viral. And, you know, we picked up like 1,500 to 2,000 subscribers in about the space of 4 months, which was a lot at the time. Yeah, just thank you to you all. I don't have like a list of names or anything because there are so many of you, there's 10,000 of you, and those of you that comment every week know who you are. And I do try and reply to every comment. It can be difficult and it may take some time, but I wanted to make sure that every single one of you has a question answered, be it a very simple question or a very complex question, or even just a general query. But yeah, I will be doing something else to celebrate the 10,000 viewer count, keeping out for that in September, with a rather special guest. We'll be trying some pretty exceptional whiskies, and hopefully we'll be in the same room as well. But to this Midleton, and by all means, if you haven't poured anything, please do. Cheers to all of you, and cheers to the whiskey YouTube community, really. I'll be honest, I haven't really been keeping up with a lot of the British YouTubers, just because we all have access to the same stuff. I've been watching more of the guys in Canada and America, mainly Canada, so like Whisky in the Six and Sipper Social Club. Rob and Jeremy, been watching a lot of their stuff, and very jealous of the stock that they managed to get their hands on. But hopefully they'll be a little bit jealous of this, because it's quite nice to have something rather special. But yeah, let's nose this, let's smell this. Ooh, bloody hell. We reviewed Four Roses on Sample Sunday, and this thing smells more like bourbon than Four Roses does. The nose is just raw butterscotch. Butterscotch and toffee apples and little hard-boiled vanilla sweets. Should point out, this bottle was already open. I did open this when we got to like 9,900, and I thought probably worth letting it just breathe a bit to give it the full review, you know. So I've only tried this once before. See if I can just kind of pull this in a shot and show you what it's doing. There's something particularly special about old, well, not necessarily too old, but just cask-strength Irish whiskey. There's just something quite magical about it. In the back we're getting, it's quite grassy, it's actually quite light. There's almost a smell of like lilies and lilacs and a slight waxiness to it as well. Again, like loads of toffee and mint. I'm kind of waiting for those classic like Irish pot still pepper notes to come through. Not particularly powerful on the nose, very calm, very relaxed. Like beautiful kind of eucalyptus mintiness. But it's just this sweet bomb. It's not all the exotic fruit things, it's just caramel and toffee and fudge and brioche and creme brulee and vanilla and butterscotch and a bit of mint. Just incredible. I could smell that all day. I'd like to wear that, isn't it? As like an aftershave if I could. Ooh. There's that Irish pot still thing. That unmistakable, creamy, yeasty, peppery Midleton charm. Texturally and taste-wise, it's like spreading butter across your tongue. Still taste it now. It's the middle of my tongue is it's becoming a little drier. The pepperiness and the oak really having quite an influence there. That is quite divine. The initial taste is bright green fruit. Apple and pear. Classic. Imagine that first bite, that first hit of juicy fruitiness. And then through the middle. It's not even a dessert I'm a big fan of, but there's a bread and butter pudding thing to it. It's just really comforting and warming. Texturally, I've already mentioned the spreading butter across your tongue thing, but it comes across as quite oaty as well. That kind of grip, that texture that kind of oats and porridge can have, it has that to it. More toffee, more caramel, more butterscotch. Finish wise, yeah, you get that classic kind of freshly ground pepper. And the oak is almost working like an insulating thing. It's I feel like there's staves being put up around my mouth, and each time I'm tasting, caramel, apple, popcorn, maple syrup, creme de cassis, vanilla. There's even an orange thing, which is really reminding me of triple sec. As I have a whole bottle left, I'm just going to add a little bit of water to it, just to see what happens while we're here. Don't normally do this in a video, but like I said, this is more of a discussion with all of you. Obviously, it's not a live video, but I'm always scared about the technical problems with a live video. We've done a few, and they've been vaguely successful, but yeah, I digress. Below, in the comments section, whether you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, hopefully just in the comments section. Already I've opened a big bottle this year, Highland Park 30, which is just sat in that kind of box over there. And I didn't think I'd open 2 very special whiskies in 1 year. So already, just under 2 months ago, turning 30, Highland Park 30, big bottle, means a lot. And I knew I was going to open this when we hit 10. I was like, because there's such a love for Irish whiskey on this channel. We've reviewed a lot of it recently. There's another Irish whiskey review coming out next week. I will get back to Scottish whiskey, I swear to all of you Scotch fans. But there's just a lot of really cool, new and different Irish whiskey around right now. I've been a diehard fan of Midleton for such a long time. Becoming a huge fan of Bushmills as a whole. It was a brand I used to ignore a lot, but really liking Bushmills at the minute. But the question I have for all of you, and some of you did answer it on the Highland Park 30-year-old video. Have you, within this year, and within the UK specifically, some of the difficulties that lie ahead of us in the next year, is there a bottle you have which you thought, I'm going to open that on a special day, but is there one now where it's a case of, you know what, the next 12 months are going to be, 15 months are going to be relatively difficult as of October. Things are going to become more strenuous on budgets. Is there a bottle sat there where you're like, you know what, I'm just going to crack that now? Because like I said, I opened this early and I did not regret it in any way. And I do like holding onto a bottle for a special occasion, but there is something quite satisfying about opening something that you know is going to be quite good. Like in your whiskey brain, you can sit there and go, that ticks all my boxes. That's going to be excellent. I want that. Is there something currently sat on your shelf that does that and it's open? Or are you looking at it currently and going, maybe we should just crack that and see what happens? I've shared this with a few friends and they loved it too. such an important part of whiskey, is sharing it with the people that you love being around and that you love in general. And I think this, in its non-chill filtered cask strength 56.3 goodness, with that colour, I know I keep talking about the colour on it, but look at that thing. Like ruby. Incredible. Just special. Yeah, special moments, special whiskies, special people. I round this out because it's getting on to be a bit of a drag. I don't want to keep you all here for 20 minutes. But thank you to every single one of you. Because without you, I want to get to do all this really cool stuff. And, you know, we don't have Patreon or anything like that. For my own personal reasons, more than anything, I kind of don't believe in it. I don't really want you folks to give me money. I'd rather just, if I see something cool, I'll just buy it. Or at least get a sample of it. And if I like it, then I'll buy it. But, you know, you've committed something for me which is more important than money. It's time. You've given me your time. You've watched videos which you've been interested in. You haven't watched the ones you're not interested in. That's totally fine. Some other people have. But overall, just thank you. Thank you to every single one of you. Because I don't know if when Joe started the channel in his living room reviewing Lagavulin 16, I don't know if he thought it'd ever get to 10,000 one day. Been lucky to talk about and record some incredible whiskies with you all. This being one of them. But yeah, I'll sign off the final note. You'll all see a fun video in September. If we can do it live, we will. I think a pre-recorded one would be a little bit easier, but we'll see. But yes, I'm going to go and make dinner, and I will see you all again next week. Oh, score. I mean, special bottle, 10. Easy. Special bottles get the 10. It's just ticking every box. It could have been maybe a little bit more exotic, but I'm just being pretentious. I'm just being pedantic at that point. But yeah, I'll see you all next week. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day.